How you're being demonic biopsychosocial. Our food, water, and air are all poisoned for profit and control. The ecosystems and psychosystems we inhabit are optimized for greed and domination. We have been made subhuman by Sunny D, Cardi B, and Goldman Nutsaxy. Psychologically, we are poisoned by fear and greed, trapped in systems designed to keep us in fight, flight, and grasping, states incompatible with insight, creativity, or connection neurologically. We are encouraged to hate our past, kept stressed in a rush-stuffed present, and offered no hope for the future. The big tech companies love us hating and fighting each other because it feeds their unholy ads. Flaccid online outrage lines their pockets while making us exhausted, so of course we feel like we live in occupied psycho territory. A toxified, limbically hijacked, distracted population is weak, pliable, and ideal to puppet. Demons are ideologically and financially invested in keeping these perspectives hidden, so what brings life incurs their social death sentence now. Protestant ethics. To destroy people psychologically, socially, and spiritually, the machine gives everything a price tag. We start to see ourselves, each other, and the world as commodities, not creatures, content, not creation, barter, not being. By making everything transactional, human dignity is taken and the soul is crushed. Nothing is sacred if everything is for sale. We all become machine whores. When everything is measured in dollars or pounds, nothing has real value. What is love worth, or a life well lived? What is the price of wisdom? By making everything part of the marketplace, schools, hospitals, prisons, etc., social cohesion is destroyed. When everything can be bought and sold, more tender than law, human bonds are broken. Community becomes a coin cult. We are sterling sect trafficked. Amazonian despair, materialism and nihilism. A man who believes in nothing, will buy anything, do anything, and can be controlled by anyone. When we have nothing to live for, we have nothing to die for. Imagine believing in something so much that you would literally lay down your life for that belief. That's something that barely exists today. Real strength is grounded spirituality, in something to protect and defend. With honor and loyalty and word as bond, real men stand for something beyond themselves, and they might kill you if you threaten it. Material or possessions do not nourish the human soul, neither does sex, status, or fame. Our culture is anti-human and anti-spirit, lying to us about the worth of recognition and anything that can be owned. Wall Street, Washington, and Hollywood are total cunt-fets, let's be honest. A man who lacks meaning and purpose will attempt to fill that hole with pleasure, but become enslaved and weakened by addiction. Lacking spirit, relationships have no anchor, communities no center, and the body is but a commodity. Misery-maxing materialistic machines. Machine materialism leads to nihilism, which leads to hedonism and narcissism. These lead to addiction and alienation. That's the encouraged norm now, and it will maximize misery. We don't need all this shit, just listen under the noise. If you believe in nothing, you worship yourself and seek only pleasure and irresponsibility. This is bondage and not the fun kind. We end with a whimper, sucking venom from our own cocks. Maturity is realizing that real pleasure comes through restraint, true freedom from boundaries, and true strength is service. Discipline and honor aren't something quaint your granddad believed in. They are life. More you, more stuff, more do what you want doesn't fucking work. These insights are purposely hidden by evil, avaricious overlords and the complicit weak. Why airports feel like crap. When I was young, I worked on farms. It was hard work, but at the end of the day, I sat in the Bushel pub with my best mate James and really rested. People don't get that same satisfying feeling after meaningless Office Excel efforts, endless Zoom calls, or eye-scouring screen time. They just feel drained. Corporations legally have no values except to maximize profit. They are technically and quite literally psychopathic. This is why they feel soulless. Serving them is amoral at best. The schedule, figures, and the clock are not nature's way. I've spent too much of my life in airports, which are exemplars of the anti-culture. You are separated from the rich, herded like cattle, forced together with strangers, sold to ceaselessly, stressed, scanned, dehumanized, and anally searched by that one Polish woman at Heathrow. Airports are of course ugly and do not bring out the good in people. They are nowhere and for no one. This is the future more broadly unless we stop it. Inside the lobotomy of globalism. Your brain on globalism looks different from your brain in a village with friends you've known your whole life. In a global system, we are kept a caustic, cancerous cocktail of tired and wired, depressed and stressed. We are brain deadened. We are the walking dead, drained, exhausted, anxious and distracted. Or deracinated, enfeebled, agitating, and despairing, if you prefer. A little anatomy. In the neuroscientific model known as polyvagal theory from Stephen Porges, this would be a mix of sympathetic arousal, fight or flight, and dorsal vagal shutdown, freeze. This keeps us stupid, disembodied, and just mean. Science, bitches. Conscious noxious stimuli, news, social media, financial stress, immigrant strangers, etc., trigger the amygdala, your fear center, and hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, that's HPA, flooding your body with cortisol and adrenaline. Chronic stress also weakens the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking, impulse control, and planning. Machine modernity is the equivalent to a lazy lobotomy. Uglification. Is the most beautiful building in your town recent? Do people dress better now than they used to? Would a piece of modern art bring joy to your home? Do women shine like they once did? Fuck no. The uglification of art, architecture, and attire is a war on the soul. Covering beauty in filth is an assault on human essence. We might ask the Luftwaffe to come back and bomb Coventry, Plymouth, and Hull as a favor now. Beauty is the divine peeking into our world, and not just psychologically enriching, but spiritually inspiring. Beauty sparks hirath, this is a Welsh word for longing, a deep nostalgic longing and grief for a home that we have been kept from. When you go to Venice, Kyoto, or Prague, you know right away how we once held our heads up. When you take the time to properly get dressed, you feel the difference. Deep down, we still know the divine and we know how to express it. We can do better. To break and control of people, you must deracinate them. This starts with an origin, their story. History has been rewritten as propaganda for the regime. The Dark Ages were not dark or pre-modern. The Enlightenment was not light. Our people are not uniquely sinful in some way that justifies erasure. We need to make crusades and colonialism great again. We have been taught their story, not your story, definitely not his story. The machine is fueled by lies about the past to create and control a bleak future. Mind pollution, what the Buddha thinks of Facebook. The Buddha identified greed, aversion, and delusion as the three poisons. They are the core of the anti-culture and are now actively cultivated, compelled, and coerced. These soul pollutants are now our withered, rotten economic and cultural heart. They are the dominant business model in many industries. Craving is now algorithmically weaponized. Everything from food to media to dating is made addictive. It's made addictive. Depraved desire is made mimetic. Anger and fear, aversion, are the cultivated online psychoscape as we kept agitated for increased consumption and divided for fragility. The angry mind engages, so increases ad revenue. The greedy mind buys, and the scared mind is easily controlled. Confusion is farmed by speed, bias, and emission. We are overwhelmed and desensitized by irrelevance, sensationalism, and polarization. A hex of vex, covetousness, and delirium is cast upon us. We are spied on and lied to, and most are fine with it. We are bewitched, enthralled, and disenchanted. The Buddha would have punched Zucker in his and then fed Jeff Bezos to actual Amazons. Note that something can be Orwellian hate speech in the UK, irrespective of truth, and many anti-cultural concepts require vague new words to obscure them. Identify, lived experience, you're a ghost, marginalize, systemic, safety, etc. Ask for simple explanations or synonyms and the bullshit will be revealed. The old sins are now celebrated, lust sells, greed is encouraged, and pride has its own month. They are replaced by supposed new sins, ableism, racism, misogyny, appropriation, misgendering, dead-naming, and many a phobia. These words don't exist in any classic work on ethics, nor in any of the great religious texts of the world. Do you want to know why? Because they aren't real. They're merely smokescreen for true evil. You're the product now. If it's free, you're the product, the old saying goes. Another good rule of thumb is that anything that has to be advertised isn't worth having and isn't good for you. Advertising is someone trying to get you to do something against your interests. It's a form of violence. Note that there are no adverts for healthy food, healthy relationships, calling your mum, or even breathing fresh air. Advertising is a mind pollution, and the average city dweller sees 2,000 ads a day. All mainstream media is an advert for the anti-culture and a sales pitch for suicide. Sadly, it often works.